In this video, I will tell you 5 reasons why Finland is awesome and why you should definitely consider moving here either to work or to study. What's up guys and welcome back to the channel. If this is the first time we are meeting, my name is Oliver and I'm a master's student in economics at Aalto University in Finland. And on this channel we talk about education and early career development, specifically here in Finland. So if you are new here, do consider subscribing. Alright, so the first reason why you should consider moving to Finland is the fact that Finland has one of the best educational systems in the entire world. Starting from primary education, in which Finland ranks #1 globally, all the way to higher education, aka universities, where Finland ranks the 3rd in the world. The Finnish education system has been praised for years, not only for the high level of educators themselves, but also for the fact that we do not focus on teaching pupils to do well in standardized tests, but rather we focus on growing them as individuals, each with their own interests and ambitions. The education system in Finland is usually the first thing that comes up when talking about the country, and there are countless of documentaries and news stories about how we compare to the rest of the world. No matter whether you're planning on moving to Finland as a student or as a parent, the Finnish education system is a safe option all around, and you are guaranteed to receive the highest quality education, starting from preschool all the way up to graduate school. Of course, since on this channel we primarily focus on higher education and career development, it is important to note that the Finnish higher education system offers more than 400 English-taught bachelor's and master's degree programs in 13 different universities and 22 universities of applied sciences. Over 20,000 international students are currently working on their degrees in Finland, and we expect that number to grow year over year. Thus, I really recommend that you consider yourself or your children to also take on the same path. One more thing, if you are a citizen of a European Union or a European Economic Area country, you are entitled to get both your bachelor's and your master's level degrees free of charge, meaning that you don't have to pay any tuition fees for your education. However, if you are not a citizen of a EU or EEA country, don't worry, there are great scholarship options available for every single university in Finland. More about tuition fees and scholarships in these videos right here. The next reason for you to move to Finland is the fact that Finland is one of the most equal countries on the planet. As an example, according to the World Economic Forum, Finland is the 3rd most gender equal country in the world. Here, participation of genders in working life is extremely high, and, for example, power is divided between genders the 3rd most equally in the European Union. This is actually well represented by the fact that Finland has the 2nd most female MPs in the entire world as a percentage of ministerial positions. In addition, Finland is ranked as one of the best countries in the world in terms of income equality. According to the OECD, Finland has one of the lowest poverty rates and income differences in the world, and I would say that this is at least in part a testament to the equality of opportunity that is provided to all citizens through the high level of public education that is designed not to leave any student behind, no matter their background or the size of their parents' wallets. Equality in Finland also extends to the workplace, where we enjoy a low hierarchy and where personnel from different career levels interact with each other casually. In Finland, we do not like to use titles, and as a fun fact, the Finnish language doesn't really even recognize terms like sir or ma'am, and this is one of the reasons why you don't need to be on first name basis with someone before addressing them by their first name. Rather, it is completely normal for Finns to address each other by our first names, even in the workplace. Anyways, equality in the workplace also means equality in the opportunity of taking care of one's family. In Finland, when a child is born, both parents are allowed to take time off to take care of their family. Taking maternity and paternity leave is not only supported, but also encouraged. Not only do new parents get support from the government in the form of an allowance, but because Finland is a heavily unionized country, most fields use collective agreements that include a paid maternity and paternity leave. In addition, the Finnish government has lately been pushing a new law where both parents would be allowed to take an equal amount of paid leave, initially at least 5 months per parent, with an additional 5 months that could be divided between the parents as they choose. So this push is the newest step by the government towards an even more equal society where both parents have an opportunity to either stay at home or to work on their careers depending on their personal choices. So talking about work, the next reason to move to Finland is the fact that we appreciate a healthy work-life balance. Balancing work and family is easier in Finland than in many other countries, partly due to cultural differences, but also because of the long holidays and reasonable working hours. The length of holidays and working days vary from field to field based on their individual collective agreements. However, an 8-hour workday is considered as a norm. In most fields, you have a minimum of 30 days of statutory paid annual leave, and it is also good to note that public holidays in Finland are not considered as a part of the annual leave, thus they are therefore paid as normal working days. This means that in Finland we work quite a bit less compared to some other countries, both in days and in hours, but this does not reflect negatively on your career opportunities either in Finland or abroad. Simply put, Finland has a culture that allows and even encourages life outside of work, even if you are ambitious and looking to build a great career. Unlike in some countries, there isn't a huge trade-off between these two realities. Also, going a bit back to my previous point about equality, in Finland it is completely normal that both parents work, even if your family has young children. This is largely due to the high-quality public daycare that is available to everyone. A good thing to note for those of you who come from countries where private daycare is more common, in Finland, public daycare is not only super cheap, but daycare centers and schools also have highly trained professionals as staff, and working at a daycare center as a teacher requires you to have a university-level degree in early childhood education. This means that your child is going to receive the best care and education in the world, while both parents have the opportunity to work on their careers. So the next reason to consider moving to Finland is the overall well-functioning public sector. So if you have seen my video on the reasons why you should perhaps not move to Finland, you know that we have some of the highest tax rates that you can find even in European standards. However, the one really good thing about this is what we get in return is a really well-functioning public sector. So not only do we get the aforementioned great education, but our taxes also go towards a well-functioning healthcare system that is free at the point of service. In addition, Finland has a good social welfare network that guarantees that no one is really left behind, even if you are left without a job, for example, because of a global pandemic and a subsequent economic crisis. In addition to the public healthcare and education system, there are also a few lesser-known ways that the public sector is impacting our day-to-day lives. A few great examples are things like public transportation, the postal service, some parts of our energy sector, and even the partly government-owned airline industry, all of which are mostly privately run, but publicly governed. I know that this is a divisive topic because some people would prefer us to have a smaller government, and because there are always things to complain about when companies are not fully privatized. Nevertheless, if you compare the Finnish public sector and public services to many, even European countries, things just work really well here. Again, one of the latest examples of the success of our public sector has been the COVID-19 pandemic. Even though we have had our share of cases in Finland, one could easily argue that we have had one of the best responses to the pandemic in the world, and this is largely due to the well-functioning public sector and the well-built coordination between all branches of the government as well as private institutions. Again, when the pandemic started in early 2020, there were a bunch of international news outlets reporting about the high preparedness of the Finnish government regarding these type of national crises, and I think this is a testament to how well our society functions in general, starting from the way that our hospitals are run, all the way to how much government support the Finnish airline Finnair has been able to receive compared to many other international airlines. Again, this is a divisive topic, but I think that it's something that is important to understand if you are considering relocating to Finland. Before we continue to the next section of this video, let me just stop for a second to thank HOAS for their continuous support with this channel. So HOAS, or the Foundation for Student Housing in the Helsinki region, is a non-profit foundation that rents, builds and maintains housing for students in the Helsinki metropolitan area. I've been living in their apartments throughout my studies, and I really recommend that you apply for one of their almost 10,000 student apartments in the Helsinki region. More information about HOAS and their apartments through the links in the description box below. Alright, so moving on, no matter whether it's you or your child who is moving to Finland, you do not have to worry about their safety. This is because, according to the World Economic Forum Index, Finland is the safest country in the world to live in. Not only is our overall crime rate low, but Finland also leads the world in the trust in police and the government, and according to Transparency International, Finland has the third least amount of corruption in the entire world, only being bested by New Zealand and Denmark. In addition, and actually very importantly, Finland is one of the best countries to grow a child, and according to Save the Children, children in Finland have the third most secure childhood in the world. So while the trust in the government and the public institution is very high, I think it is also fair to say that a large part of the overall feeling of safety in Finland comes from the culture of trust and integrity that we hold in very high regard. The Finnish people are, in general, raised to believe in personal integrity and in responsibility towards other people. In practice, this means that if you, for example, leave your wallet in a bus or at a cafe, you should expect it to find its way to a lost and found or a police station with all of your belongings still inside. The same trust extends to institutions like taxis, street vendors, and other similar businesses that in some other countries are subject to a large amount of scams. So one of the more commonly used examples of the overall safety that we have here is that in Finland, it is completely safe for you to move around the city streets, both during day and night, without a fear of being harassed or robbed. For example, in Finland, it is completely normal to see small children commuting to school on their own, starting from the age of 7. So this is of course different for each country, but I've heard from some of my international friends that in their home countries, you are brought up with this mentality of ever vigilance, meaning that you have to be constantly aware and alert just in case something were to happen. This kind of mentality simply does not exist in Finland. Anyways, if you are interested in learning more about Finland, I really recommend that you watch this video or go through this entire playlist where you learn about things that you need to know before moving to Finland. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.